Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the episode of the Spurs Up Show presented by the Armchair All-Americans. I'm your host, Chris Phillips, joined, as always, by my co-host and colleague, Tom Floyd. Before we get into the show, be sure to go online, rate, subscribe, share, and download the Spurs Up Show on iTunes, the Stitcher app, wherever you consume your media, wherever you consume your podcast. The best Gamecocks podcast on the internet, hands down, the Spurs Up Show. So, again, be sure to check us out on all the different fronts there. Also, be sure to check us out on our social media handles. If you don't follow us yet, if you haven't looked us up yet, be sure to go check us out on Twitter at ArmchairSCar. That's going to be on Twitter. Instagram at ArmchairSCarolina. And, of course, like I mentioned, ArmchairAllAmericans.com for all of our latest breaking Gamecock news, coverage, the podcast, of course, and all of our other content there as well. Very, very busy time right now with the baseball team. Softball also in full swing with a regional this weekend. Also, there's always football news with recruiting and different rivalry talk, things of that nature, and basketball as well. Things staying busy even in the quote unquote off season, if you will. But obviously, first, before we get anything, I want to welcome Tom back to the show. Tom, good to have you on again, man. It's been a fun week, and looking forward to the show.
Great to be here. Always love it.
Absolutely. So we want to start our week off just like we did last week. Our first segment, this week in Tater news. So I'm going to let Tom start our first. We're going to say, Tom, what did you see this week? This week in Tater news. What's going on?
This week in Tater news, it is the fact that nothing ever has been wrong with Clemson. That even when a player transfers before he even plays it down, it's the kid's fault, and it's not Clemson's fault ever because Clemson's perfect and nothing wrong has ever happened there. Even though they had a scandal right after the national championship in '81, and they obviously pay players. But anyway, let's get this. Let's just move on from that.
Yeah, we're gonna get fully in. We're gonna move right back into that with the Josh Belk things. Like I want to get into that for sure.
Yeah.
But for me, this week in Tater news, just a little. This just in: Clemson fans enlighten me on stats that don't matter, or that do matter, depending on what side of the coin you're on. So we were talking a little bit about this pre-show, Tom. But I was talking to you about had some Clemson fans chirping me on Twitter, talking about the rivalry, talking about all of the different stats. A Clemson guy, I don't really know his Twitter handle or
probably something stupid like Clemson Tiger fan 5, like
basically
every one of them always are.
Something really high grade for a Tiger fan. But anyways,
a dedicated Clemson account.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Nah, he literally went and made a Google Drive like spreadsheet, basically listing every record, like anything you can think of where Clemson is better than South Carolina at, and some of the stats on there, I have to admit, were fairly hilarious. One of them, I told you in pre-show, but one of them was number of coaches named Heisman, and it was Clemson 1, South Carolina 0, and there was a little Clemson paw next to it saying like, "Yeah, we got that one." So I was like, you know what, you can have it. I didn't even know that. You can have it. Good for you. So, anyways, yeah, I learned this week that stats apparently do matter. So there you go. Moving on, overreaction to the week. I'll start off with this. South Carolina, I think this kind of bled into last week, but I kind of brought it over this week. First thing I want to say, Tom, it is May 17th. We're recording this show. It is May 17th, and I'm officially getting the college football itch again. I'm officially starting to get the itch, starting to get fired up. It really didn't hit me until this week. When I realized that 100 days till kickoff would be coming in like next 4 or 5 days. And that's when I'm like, wow, we get to start we're going to have a little countdown going on our social media accounts. It's kind of you're getting that fever again. Baseball's kind of winding down. We're going to be in the dog days of summer and spring, SEC media days is going to be here before you know it. I'm starting to get kind of that football itch, Tom. I don't know, but which kind of leads me to my overreaction of the week that the defensive back, Nick Harvey, the grad transfer from Texas A&M. I think he's going to have a multi-interception game to help break the losing streak to Texas A&M when the Gamecocks play them this season in Williams-Brice. So watch out for Nick Harvey. Revenge factor, big revenge guy. I think the revenge factor is going to strike for Nick Harvey. So,
I mean, obviously we have the best cross-division rivalry with Texas A&M. So
it's just awesome. It's great.
Okay, can I just be honest? It's probably the stupidest cross-division they could have picked. Like why make us fly to Texas and why make them fly to South Carolina every year? I don't like really any of our cross divisional. I mean, think about it. Arkansas is still bad too.
We've never beaten Arkansas. I'm always so scared when South Carolina plays them because it's just that's always a tough game. The only time that wasn't a tough game was
last year.
2000. Well, last year. You're right. Last year, and then 2013 was it when Connor Shaw and Mike Davis and then went into Arkansas and just beat the brakes off of them. I think it was 49-7 or something like that. But anyways, and then Auburn, South Carolina's never beaten Auburn. Can't get that monkey off their back. And then South Carolina travels to Ole Miss this fall, which is always kind of an interesting game. So, I don't know. I mean, I think South Carolina's had as much success against Alabama as anybody from the West. I mean, you think about it. I mean,
I think we should probably easily handle Ole Miss, especially with Patterson transferring. But you never know.
Yeah. In the Grove, you know, and that game's late October, early November, maybe. That's a late game too. I don't know. Anyways, Tom, what's your overreaction of the week?
That Josh Belk is only going to USC, and there's no way he's going to consider going into any other school. Like I think he's going there, but since every Clemson fan saying that this is about his family, which it really might be, and if he does have a sick family member, in fact, I'm really sorry. Don't get that confused with anything else. I do really feel genuine prayers to the guy, but if it really is about his family and about being close to home, then he's going to USC. I just don't see any other option.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So I know there's 1,000 other things that you want to talk about, Tom, but I'm going to force you to talk about the news that broke this week regarding the football team, regarding the transfer of defensive lineman Josh Belk, former 5-star recruit, was an early enrollee, signed with Clemson in December, enrolled in January, went through spring workout, spring practice, all of that, was a pretty highly praised player throughout the spring. He is transferring from Clemson. So I think this was 2 days ago. He came out basically.
No, yesterday, I think.
Was it yesterday? Okay. Anyways, came out. Yeah, it was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Came out, basically broke the news. He would be transferring from Clemson, and most assumed that he will become a Gamecock. A lot of people are assuming that, even the Clemson writers and, basically the fanboy media they have that broke the story, even they were assuming that he's probably going to become a Gamecock. Obviously, as you mentioned, family health has been cited as the reason. I think his mother's kind of sick. He was going back and forth, from Clemson to home, taking care of them. Columbia is much, much closer to where he's from. Tom, talk about, again, your overall take on the situation. Kind of just, it's sort of a weird situation, but what you make of it, because obviously there's a lot of different theories. There's a lot of different takes out there. Twitter was an absolute madhouse yesterday with Clemson fans and South Carolina fans going at each other. I was in on the fun as well, but talk about your just overall take of kind of what your feelings are on the Josh Belk deal.
Okay, well, Josh Belk was overrated going into Clemson. He shouldn't have been a 98 with his high school film, his senior year high school film. It was terrible. He played lazy and took plays off, and his competition level is single A ball in South Carolina, which isn't extremely difficult for anybody that doesn't know. It's just really not that good, and he should have been killing it to be given a 5-star rating. And I think a lot of it had to do with him showing out at the Army All-American game, which he did do good in. But I mean, he's there for a week. Like, anybody can turn it on for a week. So I didn't get his rating being that high. I'd say mid 4-star, 95 range. But anyway, he got the 5-star going into Clemson, and all Clemson fans talking trash about how good he's going to be, along with Xavier Thomas and KJ Henry, and now he's gone. And they're all whining about it and mad. But anyway, the reason all Clemson fans are saying that let's go back to this. The reason I think Gamecock Insider maybe tweeted it first, or they were the ones on their boards first that reported that he was transferring. That's what I saw. I'm not on their boards, but I just saw it on Twitter. And then Big Spur put out a tweet about it saying he was transferring and it was true. And then the tweet from the lawyers came out a tweet from Josh Belk's account with the lawyer letter came out a couple hours later. But anyway.
Dude, just real quick, I never even knew you needed a lawyer to transfer schools to get a release. I'm
assuming you do the release because when you sign a scholarship, it's a legally contracting bond that you have to.
Right. Okay.
That might be why. But I'm just
anyways. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
But so he's transferring. But when you transfer from a school and you get a release from a scholarship, there could be blocks put on it. It could be put the schools you play every year, like Clemson could put on South Carolina, and South Carolina put on Clemson, vice versa. Or they could put on any other ACC school just so they wouldn't have to face the kid every year. And some coaches do it, some coaches don't. Muschamp doesn't because he's always said that he's never going to stop a kid going from play somewhere if he wants to. At least to my knowledge, he never has. And so Clemson and Dabo gave him a full release, and it's that he can go transfer anywhere. He just has to sit out for a year because that's the NCAA rules, which is another talk for another day. But so he's transferring. It's not said where yet. It's assumed pretty much that he's transferring to South Carolina. He grew up a fan there. He's going to be closer to home for them family medical reasons. But here's my whole theory on it. I don't understand why Dabo would ever let a kid of this caliber, A, just walk like this, or B, walk like this and go to South Carolina, who you have to play every year. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. And so my theory is that Belka's holding something over his head. There's no way he's not. He's saying that let me transfer anywhere, and if you don't, I'll expose the fact that something's going on behind the scenes that they don't want the people to know about. And for you that just for you people watching or listening that just don't believe in players getting paid to say it's not real, I literally have a sister-in-law who's a rally cat at Clemson who witnessed $100 handshakes all the time. I know people who know people. Like, players getting paid is a thing if you want to believe it or not. And so at the end of the day, I just am saying that there's something else going on other than the fact that – and I'll talk about this real quick. John Whittle reported on 24/7, and I included in a tweet. Sorry for not sourcing my tweet, I guess. But he said the fact that he hated Clemson and that he wanted to leave there like a month in, basically. I think is what he said. It was a short time after he talked to him. So that was another reason for him to leave. Some people are citing depth reasons for Clemson, which I don't really get because, I mean, other than Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, and they're both going to be going off next year, he would have had the chance to play if he just had got his motor better, like his actual drive to play football. But so yeah, I think he's holding over something Dabo said. But let me just talk about if he does transfer to South Carolina, I think he'd be a good player. I say he's a mid to high 4-star. He just has to improve like his motor and his will to play because it's terrible from what I've seen on film and from what I've heard from coaches around South Carolina who played against him and stuff like that. So I think he can be a good player. He's obviously going to add great depth to us, if not become a starter one day. But it's just a lot to think about here.
I mean, you would think that if he's at a school where he actually, if he really did hate being at Clemson, that he comes to South Carolina and that's where he wants to be. I mean, you think the motor would kind of –
yeah.
I think the motor would improve, at least the motivation to play hard, right? I mean, that would somewhat improve, I would think.
Yeah, I would have to say, especially if he wants to play and he knows how much Champ is, like, it's going to have to, like, improve. And if it doesn't, he's not going to play. Like, it's just how it is.
Yeah, and I agree with you in the sense that it's just crazy to me to think that – because I think with this situation, there's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting, something that just does not happen a lot. I mean, I can't remember if there's even been a time that I can remember at all. I can't remember the last time, though, that a player that this happened where someone transferred from rival to rival within the South Carolina Clemson rivalry. I mean, I may be forgetting a scenario, but
a women's basketball player recently transferred, and that's like the first one I've ever seen.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like football. I mean, the last transfer that left South Carolina that I can remember being like, wow, that was a real screw up, was Kenny Irons going to Auburn. So, yeah. So, 2002. So, a little history lesson for anybody who doesn't know who that is. I feel like most of you do. Anyways, when Lou Holtz was the head coach at South Carolina, you remember Demetrius Summers?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
So, basically what happened is I think 2003 was his freshman year. Anyways, when Lou Holtz was recruiting Demetrius Summers, he basically promised, like, yo, you're going to be starting game one in Williams-Brice as a freshman. Like, made a lot of promises over promised to the kid. Well, anyways, yeah. Kenny Irons basically took offense to the whole situation because, I mean, he, obviously that's going to rub anybody the wrong way. Kenny Irons winds up transferring to Auburn, basically becomes a stud running back at Auburn. Is in the same backfield as Cadillac Williams. Yeah, so that's just the last transfer I can remember leaving South Carolina that even made that I even knew who they were. So no, it's just something crazy. But anyways, get back to my point. I mean, I just agree with you that it's crazy that Dabo would just let a kid walk and go to Carolina. And you see all these people, all these these Dabo warriors on Twitter saying, "Oh, he's such a great guy. Like, look what he's doing for the kid. Look what dude, not
it's literally a cult. Like, I'm sorry to hate the break to you. Dabo is not, and I'll go on a Dabo rant real quick. Dabo's not the guy he acts like. He's just not. If you've ever seen him, when he's on TV, he acts like he's such a Christian and godly man and all this stuff. I've seen him cuss and kill, like, actually, like, try to go, like, like cuss a player out like Frank Martin does. And that's crazy. Like, you remember the ACC championship a year or two ago?
His punters, when he rips his punters a new one.
Yeah, I'm like, dude,
yes,
calm it down a little bit. Like, and just the fact that he gives that persona, and I know for a fact he's negatively recruited against multiple coaches, including Steve Spurrier and like Urban Meyer and other coaches like that.
Dude, what about the offensive lineman or whatever that?
Yeah, Carmine. It's Jackson.
Yeah.
It's Jackson Carmine. He's like, Urban Meyer doesn't have that many years left. Like, why would you want to go play there? It's basically what he told the kid.
Right.
Like, how terrible of a coach and of a person do you have to be, like, negatively recruit and say, oh well, he's going to be gone after a few years, so you should come play for me instead, and also slip you a couple hundreds under the table. Like, get out of here with that crap.
I mean, dude, if you want to just know that, I mean, I just don't think people should put that much stock into, like,
you shouldn't love a coach like
facade. Just, I mean, look at Hugh Freeze. Like,
yeah,
it can all come crashing down, and you find out who somebody really is. He was one of those too. Was a huge, like, Bible thumping type kind of guy. Like, very, very, very religious. Put on a religious persona, and it's. I mean, honestly, man, like, I'm not knocking anybody, whatever you believe, whatever. But it's normally the people that shout the loudest about it that have the most to cover up and to hide. So, that's kind of my 2 cents. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy, weird situation. I mean, from the little bit I know about the kid, I mean, like you said, I mean, what I was going to ask you this. I think it's really interesting. Like you said, he was a 5-star going to Clemson. Do you think if he a serious question. Do you think if he'd have went to South Carolina, he would have been rated as a 4-star?
There's no chance. Oh, well, I thought you meant if he was rated as a 5-star. There's no chance he would have gotten it because all the 24/7 recruiters love them and I mean, his composite score. Okay, he's a 98 on 24/7, which is like pretty decently high. He's like a low 9.5 on their composite, which is all the people together, which is what he should have been rated. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, dude, yeah, because I just remember like. A lot of the South Carolina pundits and guys that follow recruiting really closely, and like our guys too, obviously you and Alex, we're just talking about basically like there's a bunch of South Carolina guys that could easily be 4 stars that are 3 stars and 4 stars that could be 5 stars. I mean, the one guy I think of is Rosendo Lewis. Like, how did he come to South Carolina as a 3-star linebacker when was probably like one of the best linebackers in the class?
I don't understand how.
It's just like I feel like depending on the school these kids go to, it's like that's how they mirror the rankings.
I don't understand how
star ratings for the players.
Okay, mainly when me and Alex talk about recruiting, mainly we go off our offer sheets. If the kid has an offer from every SEC school and a bunch of other Power 5 schools, he's a high 4, low 5 kind of guy. And if he has like 40-something offers, like Chris Steele, he's probably a 5-star, just from plain and simple. But there are guys who also don't tweet their offers and don't tell anybody, so you don't know if they have what kind of offers they do and don't have. But anyway, I didn't get his ranking, at least.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anyways, like you said, though, he's a guy, he's going to have to sit out this year, but he's a guy, if nothing else, that's going to provide depth immediately.
He's going to have he's going to get in the weight room and get in shape for a fact.
Right.
Go
ahead.
Well, I was going to say, like with Javon Kinlaw, it could be like the same situation. Like, he would need like 2 games to tune up and then just be full force and be a monster.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, he's going to have a lot of time to do that because he's going to be able to sit out which, not to dive in too much to it because you basically said we could go on to the show about it, but it's crazy to me the kid has to sit out when he hasn't even played. He hasn't even been suited up yet.
When you sign that agreement,
it makes no sense.
I think it's like NCAA rules in general that say you can't play immediately. And I could be wrong about that. I really could be, but I think that's the rule.
So, really hot take here and something I'm a little worried about. Which, I don't know. I could be wrong. But this kind of feels like a situation where this is going to be a kid that maybe never plays football. It feels like he is leaving Clemson. Like, maybe he really just did hate it there and he's going to Carolina. He's got the family issues. But like you said, if he doesn't have a, strong motor, kind of a lazy kid, it feels like one of those weird situations where it's like the kid may never see the field anywhere.
And it sucks because the talent's there if he's getting that kind of rate. Like, if he's regarded as a pretty decent player, or recruit, I mean, like, he's obviously has a talent, but a lot of kids just don't transfer to college football, and it sucks. But it's just the way it is. I'm not saying that he's going to be that. I'm not saying
I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying either. It's just like you see these situations kind of come sometimes when the kid just like they just never kind of get it all lined up, never get it all together.
But it just happens.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see him and Rick Sandage on the same line.
Oh,
I think, like I said, nothing else is going to be depth.
I mean, just think about the fact that Rick Sandage, Josh Belk, What's the other kid's name? Zach Pickens and
Pickens, yeah.
Savion Jackson or Joseph Anderson could be on the same defensive line together at one time. Like, that's crazy to me.
If nothing else, it makes you feel better about. I mean, because like we've talked about it before with the 2018 signing class, that we really felt like, and it was true, they missed out on a bunch of defensive linemen. I mean, a bunch of them. So, I mean, this isn't necessarily the way you want to get one back, but I mean, to get one back, I mean, hey, it's definitely a positive. I mean, again, I'm sure Will Muschamp and T-Rob, they were. Hey, we'll welcome you with open arms, man. We'd love for you to come play for us. So, but yeah, again, just a really, really weird situation. I mean, like I said, Dabo just letting a guy walk to South Carolina, no restrictions. I mean, I'll be honest, I love your theory. Holding something over Dabo Sweeney's head, that is just beautiful.
I love the guy.
Absolutely fantastic. He's bringing the secrets of the honeypot with him, I guess. I mean, he's been in their building for what, 3-4 months. So I don't know.
Everything that goes on now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be really, really interesting. I was actually gonna just say this just a second ago. What's crazy, man? Like, because you get so used to these early enrollees, I almost forgot that Rick Sandage is going to be in a Gamecock uniform this fall.
Yeah.
Just because, nobody's talking about him, because, you almost forget, because National Signing Day happens, then you have all these kids that enroll early, and it's like that's kind of all I feel like that's all I've been focused on, or all, just because you watch them in the spring game stuff, and you forget, oh, yeah, Rick Sandage is going to be on our team. Like, he's going to be in uniform, ready to play September 1st. So – I don't know. That's just exciting to me for some reason.
He's going to be
it's crazy. Like, the guys, I already feel good about this team. The guys we haven't seen on the field yet. Like, JC Horn.
Oh, my God. He's going to be a freak.
Josh Van. Josh Van's another one. I mean.
Yeah, they're all.
So many guys you haven't even seen on the field yet. So, very interesting.
Should be a very good year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, anyways, moving more into recruiting side, obviously you had added something here about Jalen McCullough drops his top 4.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about him. Obviously, you know a little bit more than I do, but talk kind of about what's the latest with that.
Freak athlete. I just turned into Mike Tyson. What the freak? Athlete. Anyway, Jalen McCullough. I think that's how you say his name. Something like that. I don't know. He's a 4-star safety, mid 4-star. I think. Off the top of my head, he dropped his top 4. I think with South Carolina, Tennessee, Auburn, and Alabama. That's his final 4. I don't think he said when he was announcing his when he was going to commit. But a guy that South Carolina could use a lot. He can play either running back or safety on the college level. I think they told him they'd let him play either. Kind of like a what's his name, Quavarius Crouch situation. But I think he's more decided. I think McCullough is more decided that he's going to play safety. But could be a really good add to the class. I think they take him. He's definitely a take right now. Just a guy we would really could use in Columbia.
Yeah, he's class of 2019, right?
Yeah, he's 2019.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. Like, I just feel like Will Muschamp and staff, they're grinding, dude. They're absolutely getting after the recruiting.
I mean, they have to a point.
I mean, oh yeah, no, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's just night and day difference from, like, because I just remember so vividly the Spurrier years. And it's just so night and day difference.
With
recruiting, man. It's wild.
It was infuriating to me to see, like, because I'd never really gotten to recruiting until within last year, really. And it was so angering to me to see the fact that how Spurrier just didn't care, and now Muschamp's so into it. It's insane.
Right. It's funny. I actually met this dude that used to be the long snapper at Georgia. He was there from 2007 to 2011, something like that. Anyways, he basically told me he visited South Carolina, and he told me he got to meet Coach Spurrier. I was like, yeah, how was that? He's like, he had no idea who I was. Not even. I'm like, of course. I'm like, because I asked him, I was like, did Spurrier know who you were? He's like, oh no. I was like, yeah, because I mean, I was hearing stories. He didn't know who the 5-star linebacker was on campus.
Yeah, what was that guy's name?
The long snapper. Kid went to Ohio State, right?
Yeah, I can't think of it. It's something.
I don't even know.
Raquan McMillan or something like that. Was it Raquan McMillan? Yeah, him.
I think so. That was it's absurd, dude.
It makes me mad thinking about. Anyway, I guess we can go ahead and hit baseball up if you want.
Yeah, absurd. Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about baseball. Obviously, we're recording this a little bit later this week. We apologize. We'll be coming to you guys every Wednesday again, starting next week. Just some things, some schedule complications this week. Anyways, baseball just wrapped up Game 1 against Texas A&M and lost 6-3. They had the Thursday night start this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. I wanted to talk a little bit about, South Carolina winning 2 of 3 against Missouri, but we'll kind of dive into this weekend series and more so kind of look ahead to the postseason as well, sort of what it means. Again, South Carolina, big-time series win last weekend, lost Game 1 in a really tough game, but able to come back, win the next 2. Biggest thing for me, Tom, was just the starting pitching finally coming around. I mean, I thought all 3 guys, even in the loss, Logan Chapman was good, but Cody Morris gets SEC Pitcher of the Week. Adam Hill was just kind of Adam Hill doing his thing. South Carolina is now sitting top 40 in the RPI. And, really, I mean, it's really what they're fighting for this weekend is a potential top 4 seed in the SEC tournament, which would give them a first-round bye. Again, they lost tonight 6-3 against Texas A&M. So, I mean, pretty much South Carolina, they're going to have to come back again and do what they did last weekend and win the next 2 and to win the series and, really ultimately get some help. So, it's interesting to see either way, though. South Carolina's in the SEC tournament. And, really, there's been a lot of different postseason projections. I think our projections at Armchair had South Carolina going to Conway in the Coastal Carolina Regional being the 2 seed, which would be really, really interesting.
It's happened before, hasn't it?
So South Carolina played Coastal Carolina in the Super Regionals. 2010, the first year South Carolina won it all. That was when Christian Walker hit a mammo bomb shot and to basically win that game. It was funny when I had Michael Roth on this show a little bit ago, a couple months ago. I asked him if that home run had landed yet. He said not a chance. So, yeah, good stuff. Anyways, though, there's been that projection. I'm sure you've seen too. A lot of a couple of different sources here are projecting South Carolina to be the 2 seed in the Clemson Regional, which would be extremely interesting. You've also seen South Carolina being listed as the 2 or 3 seed in the Stillwater Regional, just kind of all over. I'll ask you, Tom, because I feel like the fact that you don't know nearly as much about the college baseball scene as maybe some other people do makes your answer even more intriguing. But where, as a South Carolina fan, where would you want to see South Carolina end up postseason wise? Where, because I think South Carolina hosting a regional they're right on the bubble, but I think it's sort of out of the question at this point. They probably won't be hosting a regional. But where would you want to see South Carolina end up? Do you want to see the Gamecocks go travel to Clemson and get another crack at their rival, or do you want them to just kind of be in a middle of the pack, just somewhere else?
I say go to Clemson and play them because, what do you have to lose? Okay, if we lose them in a regional, it sucks, but we beat Clemson twice in the College World Series to put them out, win the national championship. So, suck our balls there. Anyway, I'd rather see them play in Clemson because I hope they'd win and beat them at Clemson because it would be hilarious and it would make every Clemson fan wrap their pants. But yeah, I'd rather see them play there. And if they do, that's great. If not, who cares? If they play at Coastal, it's not a big deal either.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of like to see it too. I mean, because again, I don't know. I'm so torn because I don't know. I would love to. I would so much rather see South Carolina get matched up or be in the regional that's matched up with Clemson's regional because I'd like to play them more in a super regional more so. But I mean, either way, I mean, I'm kind of just whatever. I mean, I'm just glad South Carolina at this point again is in the talks for the postseason and. Kingston and his staff have done a great job. Carlos Cortez is playing like a man on fire right now. He hit his 15th home run of the season tonight, which is insane when you think about. I mean, I remember watching earlier this year, Tom. I don't know how many games you've gotten to watch, but he didn't look like he knew how to hit a baseball the first month of the season. I mean, he looked like maybe the worst. He looked like the worst hitter in the South Carolina lineup that first month. And he has come around so much. And I mean, he's doing eerily similar to what he did last year, just coming – getting hotter as the season goes, kind of coming into his own, if you will. I don't know if he's the kind of guy where he just needs that many X number at bats to get in his groove and get his timing down or what the deal is, but it's crazy how it's just been back-to-back seasons, he's done that. So, other than that, I mean, again, it sucks. South Carolina loses 6-3 tonight to A&M. We're gonna really need another big weekend and 2 more big performances from Adam Hill and Cody Morris. I mean, you've got the right guys on the mound to do it. Now it's just all about going out there and doing it. And they've, Adam Hill and Cody Morris, while they've been pretty good, they've also been a little bit inconsistent at times. So, again, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think the only guys you use tonight were Logan Chapman and I think Eddie Demarius. I don't think anybody else pitched. You got basically a full rotation, for the next 2 days. So, got to do everything in their power to win those two for sure. So, but other than that, was there anything I missed? I mean, I don't think, obviously we're a little slow right now with –
Nah, I mean,
quote unquote off season. The softball team has a regional this weekend in Columbia. Make sure you tune in. I think I'll actually be tuned in this weekend. Can't really name off who's in the regional, but I think South Carolina should definitely be favored to come out of it. So
yeah, they're a really good team. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like too though, like women's softball is sort of like women's basketball, where like the first round is just trash.
Yeah,
like I mean, like South Carolina women's basketball in the first round of their regional, but their tournament, they're taking on like Louisiana Tech, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a 40-point blowout.
Yeah, it's like 80 something to 30 usually.
Yeah, because I mean, South Carolina's regional for softball is like UNC Greensboro, Liberty, and somebody else. I'm like,
jeez,
who's gonna beat them?
Quick work.
I mean, seriously. But anyways, again, we know this is kind of a short, impromptu episode, a little bit later in the week. We apologize. Things are going to get really heated up, I think, starting next week. I'm going to be doing one of my favorite things, Tom. You may have seen it last year when I was doing it, but I basically did a counting down every single day with a highlight to football season once we hit 100 days. Like I said, I've got that football itch, man. I'm kind of getting that back again. I mean, it's crazy, dude. We're already May 17th. Before you know it, we're going to blink and be in June. In June, I think, is probably the slowest month. I mean, you got some things to hold you over in professional sports and, again, baseball. But, you hit July, boom, SEC Media Days. And, I mean, honestly, bro, the season practically starts from there. July, August, we'll be getting into all of our football preview stuff, breaking down everything for the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really can't wait for it. I mean, it's
going to be a great time.
I caught myself watching some highlights from last year the other day, and I was like, oh, buddy, I'm getting that itch again.
During my geology class, I literally would just sitting there and watch film because the class was so boring. I've watched I think every game like twice over just because I would be so bored. But I know everything
That's
about everything.
Probably why you have such a good grade in that class.
Yeah, I actually finished with an A. So
there you go. There you go. No, dude, I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know if you remember this. When did you join the Armchair again? When was it?
I joined originally like September or October of last year, but then I stopped for a while and then came back this January.
Okay, that's right. So you won't remember then, but last year. So do you ever remember, or did you ever hear anyone harp on those player pages?
Player pages? No.
So if you go to Armchair Americans, anybody who doesn't know, we have what are called player pages. If you've probably seen them. If you look up a player on our website, basically there's a page with his name, his highlights, his stats, yada, yada, yada. Well, just so you people know that those take forever to make. I did all of South Carolina. So for football, South Carolina's, Auburn's, because basically you have to go one by one. And there's like 90 players on a team. So literally what I would do is last summer when I was doing it, probably like in June, July, whatever, I had two screens. I had a laptop screen, like a big PC type screen, like a 30-inch, whatever. And on one screen, I would have our back end of our site where I'm making the pages. And literally to kill time on the other screen, I was just playing old South Carolina games. I mean, I probably watched 10 different games full, like from start to finish, full replays. Dude, that's the kind of shit I get on in the off season. So that's kind of one thing I wanted to end the show with, because I was thinking about this all show. What is your favorite way to kill time in the off season, like to get ready for football season? I basically already answered it, but I think for me, like honestly, just rewatching old games. Like I used to love the CSS College Classics, College Flash Classics or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but dude, those, and then obviously they do on ESPNU, they do the top 25 games of the year from last year, and they'll replay those. I love, and then that, and no free ads, but I have to give a shout out to Phil Steele's College Football Magazine. Oh my God, that is the College Football Bible. That is the magazine I'm getting every time. The first day it hits the newsstands, I'm up in Phil Steele's publication, getting my knowledge in. Honestly, that's exactly how I kill time in the off season. What do you have anything you do like besides like twiddling your thumbs and just waiting around?
I usually just watch film over and over again. Like I'm a big film guy. It's really weird.
Big film guy.
Well, that and like why I obviously like have a job during the summer, even though I'm in college. But I just love the. It's not just like film. Like I'll watch a play just like 30 times over and be like, how did Jake Bentley f this up to have this bad on this player and stuff like that.
Or you can watch the play that I like to watch a lot. It's the scramble against Texas A&M where I'm like, how the hell did he get out of that?
Dude, he got murked. I don't know. Sometimes I watch him and I'm like, is he just drunk on the field? Like. It's a little bit of Garcia in him, to be honest.
What game was it where they were showing the replay of him where he got hit and he got up and was like walking bow-legged around the huddle?
It was A&M.
It was A&M,
yeah,
right?
He got destroyed one play and just came around. Just like, it was so funny to watch. So,
dude, people forget he got sacked like 6 times that game.
He got
murked.
Oh,
dude, yeah, I love watching the old games. It's. Dude, all right. So, what is your? Do you actually watch like full games, or you just watch?
Yeah, I know, like full game.
All right, what's your favorite old game to watch?
Favorite from last year, or just in general?
Just any. Like, if you had to go right now to go to YouTube, like I'm going to my my old reliable game, the game I enjoy watching the most.
Probably when we beat Georgia 35-7 that year, 2013.
It's 2012.
2012.
But no, I love that game too, but it gets kind of boring just because I know it's going to be a blowout. Dude, honestly, my favorite South Carolina game to watch, I could literally just watch it over and over, and I've probably watched it like almost 10 times, is South Carolina, Georgia 2014.
Is that the one where the
missed field goal at the end, the 4th and inches, where the measurement with Dylan Thompson? Dude, that's probably – that's 100% like my go-to, like my favorite.
42-35?
It was like 35-31.
35-38. 35-38.
38-35, yeah. Anyways, that because I was at that game too. But, dude, that is just like – that's such a good game to watch.
Like we beat Georgia the second game of the year.
Game. And then it was such a good football game.
Yeah.
It was such a good football game. It's so much fun to watch. But it's funny too. Do what?
I was going to say, imagine if Dylan Thompson would have had a defense that year. The endless possibilities.
He may be like the most underrated South Carolina quarterback of all time, just because if he had a defense, bro, he was disgusting.
When I put my article out about like when I was working for Garnet Black Attack, I put an article about like the most my like top 3 or quarterbacks Carolina. And it took everything in me not to put Dylan Thompson's honorable mention, just because like he had that 1 year, and if he would have had
that's the only thing, he only had 1 year, but you can't blame him for having to sit behind Connor Shaw, the best quarterback in South Carolina history.
No, and Spurrier goofed that too with playing him so much. I wish he would have never done that, but
yeah,
I kind of wasted years.
Yeah, I mean, it does suck bro. Even you think back though, even 2012 when Dylan Thompson was it 12? Or was it 13?
13 was the year we went to Clemson and beat them, I think, and he played most of that game.
But was it? I think it was 12 early in the season when they played East Carolina and Dylan Thompson started, or maybe that was 13. I think that was 12 though, and he balled.
It might be 12. I mean, like he's a really good quarterback, but I don't think he had like the leadership stuff that Connor Shaw had. Right. And Connor Shaw ran a lot better too. But
yeah, well, I think he was definitely a little more soft spoken, but he had a cannon, without a doubt. Dylan Thompson had a cannon. What is he doing again? He's with the Lions, right?
Yeah, he's like a character consultant for the Lions.
Dude, I mean,
sucks.
Dude had a cannon, bro. Yeah, I mean, 2014. If we had any semblance of a defense, my God,
he could have been.
Dude, just not to get too much off on a rant on it though, but like the thing that was so funny, I think it was 2013, by the way, at ECU games. I just remember being there when South Carolina was obviously just killing it and really good. I just remember being at some of those games when they would put in that second team D line, like you could see how bad they were. Well, they take those guys Clowney out and Devin Taylor. And
it's because Spurrier,
dude, they had nobody behind them.
Spurrier did the opposite of over recruiting. He was like, hey, we're gonna have these guys for 4 years, and then after that, we're just gonna hope.
Yeah, he just thought that having those guys would recruit other guys. And it's like that's not how it works anymore.
No, well,
or people the kids that are like 17 and 18 now, Steve, they don't even know who you are. They don't know anything about you, your time at Florida, like nothing.
No, none of them have any idea.
Nothing. So good times, good stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Good stuff as always. I think that's pretty much, unless you got anything else, I think that's pretty much going to wrap us up for this week. Again, sorry, another sort of light episode, if you will. We're going to have some special stuff coming up, obviously, as we get closer to football season. 100 days will be coming next week. Going to definitely be doing something special for that. Again, be sure to stay tuned in. Obviously, be sure to check us out on iTunes, the Stitcher app, wherever you consume your media, consume your podcast. Be sure to go there, rate, subscribe, share, and download. Tell all your friends. We had a very pleasant review on iTunes this week that I'm not going to share, but
it was pretty nice.
You'll have to go check it out. You'll have to go check it out. Yeah, listens are up with Tom, but reviews are down. I don't know. And they're not even down. Hey, we're getting more reviews than we got before. It just wasn't the right direction, but that's okay. That's okay. We like to hear all the feedback, positive, negative, whatever you guys like. Be sure to give us the feedback. And, if nothing else, listen to the show. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Again, check us out on all of our social media handles, Twitter at ArmchairSCar, Instagram at ArmchairSCarolina, and, of course, ArmchairAmericans.com for all of your latest breaking Gamecock coverage and news. We just hit 2,000 followers on Twitter, so I don't want to end this show without saying thank you to all the Gamecock fans, all of our listeners, all the people that listen to the show that follow us on, any and all of our social media outlets. We appreciate it. We look forward to the next 2,000. Definitely think it's something we can achieve and would love to be. What do you think by football season around like 3,500, maybe 4,000? I mean, it could be. I don't know. It could be done.
I say
I love 5,000. I think that's kind of shooting for the stars, but maybe I would love 5,000 to be honest with you. But anyways, and also don't want to end the show without saying be sure to just stay tuned to us on Twitter if you don't follow us. We are going to have a special giveaway coming next week, partnering up with our friend Gamecock Art again, who does an absolutely fantastic job, doing what he does with all of his different artworks. He's been doing a ton of cool one of those. And obviously, if you can get a free Gamecock artwork, why not take it? So be sure to follow us there. Check, look out for that tweet. Should be coming out sometime Monday. So, again, for Chris Phillips, he's Tom Floyd. Tom, you got anything else? Anything else for the people?
That's it. Go Cox. Can't wait for Josh Boak to be a Gamecock.
It's
ass up.
Guarantee.
I guarantee it now he's a Gamecock. No doubt in my mind.
Guarantee he's going to be a Gamecock, run out on the Tiger Paw when South Carolina plays him, stand in the middle.
Hope he like
do the whole Steve Tannehill, do it all.
Hope he takes a poop on the logo.
All right, I think that's a good spot to end it. So again, for Tom Floyd, I'm Chris Phillips. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will catch you next time.